I'm Sarah Matthews, and I'll be reading from my book today, Jubilation Grove and Other Nightmares. And you can follow me on Instagram and on Threads at SuperbFinch2000, and on Blue Sky and the website formerly known as Twitter at SuperbFinch. You can also follow my website, www.sarahematthews.com. And today I'll be reading Alternate Realty from my book, Jubilation Grove and Other Nightmares. "This is the foyer," the realtor said, ushering Dave into the house. Cheery yellow wallpaper adorned the walls, reflecting slightly off the light hardwood floors. Then he noticed a black stain in the top corner of the room. "What's that?" "Oh, it's nothing you can't paint over," said the realtor, waving a dismissive hand. "Or it's a spider web. Or creeping rot. Nothing to worry about. Come on, there's so much more to see." She grabbed Dave's arm and pulled him further inside. The realtor led Dave through the house, showing him room after room in quick succession. In just a few minutes, Dave saw a living room with a vaulted ceiling as high and as ornate as a cathedral, a sunken dining room, a kitchen with lime green counters and brown cabinets, and a bathroom with cracked concrete floors and brown shag carpeting on the ceiling, all papered in the same bright yellow wallpaper as the foyer, and all with the same disconcerting black stain lurking somewhere inside them. After these relatively common spaces, the realtor took Dave through the less typical rooms. "This is the orangery," she said, as they entered a glassed-in room full of orange trees, drooping with overripe fruit. The stench of rotting citrus made Dave gag. "I don't think this is the right house for me," he gasped, covering his nose and mouth with his free hand. "Don't make up your mind until you've seen the whole house," said the realtor, her smile wide and predatory. "Come on." The next room was full of steel shelves lined with glass jars. "We're in the homunculatory now," she said. The glass jars were filled with tiny humanoid figures floating in colored liquid. "This is the bibliopanoply," said the realtor in the next room. Bookcases overflowing with moldering tomes dominated the room, arrayed in a maze-like pattern. The floor revolved like a carousel. Dave staggered and fell into one of the bookcases, sending an avalanche of books tumbling down on him. "Here's the doll room," panted the realtor, as she rushed through a door into another yellow wallpapered room, empty save for a single naked doll, a baby with only short tufts of hair remaining, sitting in the corner facing the wall. Before the realtor slammed the door shut behind them, the doll's head rotated to face him. Its face was covered in black rot. The realtor kept a death grip on Dave's hand as they ran down a seemingly endless hallway. The wallpaper blurred into a jaundiced smear. Their feet pounded with muffled thuds on the arterial red carpet, which was patterned with black screaming faces. Dave recognized one of them was his. Finally, they reached a boarded-up door at the end of the hallway. From behind it emanated a shrill, high-pitched sound, a combination of a power saw, a fax modem, and a blood-curdling human scream. "Sorry, that doesn't come with the house." The realtor reached up and pulled a cord hanging from the ceiling. A set of stairs slid down from above with a crash, nearly bashing Dave in the head. The realtor shepherded him up the steps. "The attic!" she yelled as they emerged into the only room so far that wasn't wallpapered. Instead, plaster had been haphazardly scraped across the walls, and all the corners had been filled in so no 90-degree angles remained. Random phrases, paragraphs, and diagrams crept across the rough surfaces. "Beware the hounds," repeated itself most often. Dave spun in a circle, trying to take everything in. He wound up face to face with the realtor. Her eyes now bulged wildly, hair floating around her like a mane. "This could also be a great bonus space for the kids," she growled. She wrapped her arms around him and flung herself backwards through the attic opening, pulling him with her. Dave screamed and braced himself for a fall, but he and the realtor were somehow standing upright again. His head swam as he tried to comprehend the shift in perspective. They stood in a basement the size of a ballroom. The wallpaper had resumed its tyranny down here, but thick black tendrils of ooze snaked down the walls, making them look like they were melting. The realtor hunched over and galloped off on all fours. Dave ran after her, not eager to be abandoned in this hellhole. "Fully fucking finished basement," screamed the realtor in a high insectoid trill that reverberated off the walls. She skittered across the room. Upon reaching the opposite wall, she clambered up it and perched in the corner. Dave stared in horror as her mouth widened and elongated until her jaws reached from floor to ceiling. Her teeth lengthened into fangs, and black drool fell from her lips onto the floor. "Extra storage in the crawl space," she roared, black spittle flying from her mouth as massive teeth gnashed together. She lunged at him. He screamed and jumped sideways to avoid her maw, banging painfully against a small door in the wall. It had to be the crawl space. A way out, maybe. He yanked the door open and scrambled inside, pulling the door shut behind him. It buckled and rattled in its frame. He turned around and crawled away. The spongy floor sagged beneath him. Moisture dripped down from the heaving walls. Suddenly, the floor gave way, and he fell into a tarry pit of the black ooze which permeated the house. The pit walls pulsed and constricted around him. He struggled to keep from drowning in the mire, but it just kept pulling him down. "I see you found the indoor pool," the realtor's voice whispered from everywhere and nowhere. "I hope you enjoyed your tour. Please see yourself out. If you'll excuse me, I have another potential buyer to greet." Dave tried to scream, but the ooze poured into his mouth, suffocating him. The last thing he heard was the realtor's far-off voice. "This is the foyer." And that was Alternate Realty from my book, Jubilation Grove and Other Nightmares, and I'm Sarah Matthews. Thank you.